Impact of climate change. It is related. It will be included in GS paper 3. That will be environment. This is very much high yielding topic. So let's cover it from men's perspective. Okay. Introduction of climate change and its linkage to UPSC. What is climate change? It is somewhat like when we see a long-term shifts in global temperatures and its weather patterns. Okay, as we know that there is a difference between weather and climate. That will happen in the long term, and primary cause is definitely human activities, greenhouse gas emissions, and others. What are the greenhouse gases? You please tell in the comment sections. And so climate change is becoming a big threat to our existence, to all other things. So that's why it's importance. So in UPSC perspectives, its relevance it can covers or linked with so many subjects. As you know, the subjects are interrelated, interconnected, and then we have to show the connection as well. The GS papers one, it can be social issues, geography, climate is all about geography, social issues because it will impact the society. GS3 environment, disaster management because climate change can bring disasters, landslides, and all of those things. And it will damage the economy. So it is also linked with the economy. So let's see the impact on each section step by step. Impact on agriculture and farmers. That is also choose paper 3. So see, when some disaster comes or some other crisis comes, it is the poor and disadvantaged section of society who suffers most. It's for my own. It's my own opinion and from my own understandings. My people also can do realize. Okay, vulnerability. That is the rain-fed agriculture. If farmers, can you imagine a farmer who has the land and suddenly flood come or there is water crisis, then obviously it will have some. As we can see, uh, due to the some effects of El Nino and El Nino, but the monsoons becomes unpredictable. Erratic type of monsoon is coming. Sometimes it's causing too much flood. Sometimes no rainfalls, drops. Sometimes extreme and we're experiencing events of extreme heat waves. Pest outbreaks is also causing because of climate change, water scarcity, and obviously soil degradations. It also happens. And due to that, the farmers are facing so many other issues that will counter under socio-economic. That is crop failures and debt because they have taken loans from the banks and they will be in the debt. Distress migrations due to the as they lost their livelihood and no such job opportunity, they will migrate to the some other areas. And obviously food insecurities as if the food production level fall down and the crops got damaged, then there will be some kind of food insecurity for the country. So we can get some terms under these sections that will be climate resilient agriculture. It will be some kind of solutions, right, to combat climate change in the agriculture sector. That what kind of step we can take. That will be climate resilient agriculture. We will see in details in some other videos. National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. Okay, so all these are the central government's initiatives. And let's see its impact on women's impact on women. That will be a GS paper 1. We will see, if you remember, there is a subtopics called Indian society. Under the sexual illness there is subtopic of women. So let's see its impact on women. Increase workload. As I already told, that it is the poor and deprived section of the society who suffers most. So let's see, the tribal women and the women in the Rajasthan areas, they go far to fetch water. So what do you think? They have to go more far to fetch the water, and it will be becoming more hurdles for them to collect water. Then collecting, because they're collecting their fuel for cooking from the forest, and all other collections they are doing. And if they do this much tedious work, what will happen? Their health will impact. The heat, they face more stress and malnutrition because of poverty, and as I told, the crop failure, so there will be some kind of malnutrition, and also maternal health risks. If the pregnant woman do work more, then it will be more risks for them. Safety, yes, and if we see in any whenever any disaster or crisis comes, women and children suffer the most. So post disaster management. In the case of while in post disaster management priorities, the women, they can be trafficked. Okay, and obviously livelihood, they lost their livelihood in the climate sensitive sectors where they will lost their work, their food, their shelters, everything will damage. And UPSC related terms means this is the um, solution on initiative, you can say, that is gender responsive policies. Okay, and feminization of vulnerability, and we will say feminization of agriculture as well, that we see in agriculture sector. And also the impact on children and poors, again GS paper 1, GS paper 3, doubled malnutrition due to the food scarcity. Stunting means not having too much growth development. The education sector will disrupt because due to the heat and all other problems, they will not able to attend the schools. And as the food shortage will come, the another younger family member, that is child, who is, that person will also be forced to do the work, and in this instance we will see the child labor. And obviously climate change will bring more disease to the crops and as well as humans as well. And similarly, and the people who engaged in the informal sector, so they do lost their livelihood fast. Health inequalities will, yes, obviously will come. So, between the children and the adult ones, because adults are more strong, and they can tackle the, and they have the more immunities. And forced displacement and distress migrations in similar case. UPSC terms, we can say multi-dimension of poverty index and social safety net. Social safety net is a big step. It's a good step. I can say good measure to provide safety to this as a vulnerable one, to the distressed ones, especially children, women, and the poor. Okay, this one. Impact on coastal and indigenous communities. Yes, the people who are living in the coastal areas, they will face some others, another level of problems. That is sea level rise, and when the due to the climate change, the glacier will melt, and the sea water will rise. Then you can imagine then obviously there is a good high chance of submerge of the areas which is near the sea. And salinizations, when the seawater will enter into with the or came in touch with the groundwater, the water will salinized, and that will be not suitable for agriculture and for drinking purpose. And you can see the events of extreme cyclones, storm surges in the coastal areas such as Odisha and the West Bengal. And yeah, again, similar case, erosion and livelihood loss. Um, Erosion and livelihood loss. People who are living in the coastal areas, their mainly livelihood is fishing. Hmm. So when this kind of storms and disaster comes, they lost their livelihood. And also indigenous communities, as I said, the tribal peoples, they also depend on forest, collecting timbers, foods, and selling them in the market and gaining some earnings. So, so it also hampered them. Loss of traditional livelihood and food sources. Um, as we say that they get some natural food, and they do work in a traditional way such as farming, fishing. So in this way they can they do lose their work. And sometimes again the same case, they due to this sufferings, they do displace in another some other areas, and where they have to face some others extra battle to search for jobs, new livelihoods, new place, and culture difference, all those things. So, what are the some kind of solutions that we can give or take for this? That will be Forest Right Act. Under this, we can give the protection to the tribals, preventing them from displacement, resilient infrastructures for the coastal areas, so that we can combat the disaster of storms, cyclones, and the blue economies that will help the fishermen for not losing their livelihood as they depend on the sea mainly. Overall health impact, it will cause, yes, as you can see, more new diseases are coming. There will be health related illness, vector-borne disease, malaria and dengue. It will more prevent at the time of the flood. Okay, and yes, waterborne disease, malnutrition and mental health issues. Okay, or that will be also because when your body suffers, your mind will also suffer. So, what are the initiatives our government takes? That is the public health focus. Under this, we can give free medicines, free treatment, and all of the some of the medical equipment. So overall way forward for these questions will be that will be adaptations and mitigations. We have to adapt to the situation at the same time taking steps to mitigate it. That will be dual strategy. And what are the initiatives India's governments have taken? So that will be this one. This let me tell. Okay, no, this. This one is mission life is more very much important. Green hydrogen emissions, that will be renewable source of energy, so that greenhouse emissions we can reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. Life mission. And focus will be climate justice, means giving some kind of relaxations or say economic um, help to the people who are suffering from this climate change, mostly, especially poor, tribal, women. Inclusive policies, local level adaptations, yes, to support the tribals and all peoples. Empowering the vulnerables, that will be children's poors, giving them support, giving them livelihood, giving some kind of food, subsidized food and all things. And what can be the role of a civil servant? That is be better policy for them, and not just formulation of the policy, you have to implement them. And obviously when the disaster will come, so you have to what, you have to manage the disaster as well, so that the people do face less hurdles, challenges. Okay, UPSC terms, that is yes, in climate finance, I guess, as we know, the developed country have to give support to the developing countries to combat this climate change. Paris Agreement and Sustainable Development Goals. Our development should be done in a sustainable way. If you see women's practice questions, that is to try to write it and let me in the comment section if you have written it. Then I will make a telegram challenge where we can share the answer, and I will provide the model answer as well. Okay. So climate change disproportionately impact the vulnerable section of Indian society. Discuss, highlight the specific challenges faced by women and the tribal communities. We have already discussed in details the challenges faced by women and the tribal communities. Do incorporate those points and add some more values to them, some data, some diagrams, hmm, some more current affairs examples. So you do some exercise on yourself. Okay. So thank you. Do like, share, subscribe for more UPSC CSE content. This is from Aspiring UPSC CSE by Priyanka.